Trump gave no further details on the planned meeting with Kim, which would be their first since Trump's first term in the White House.
A Ukrainian national was arrested on suspicion of involvement in the September 2022 explosions on the Nord Stream gas pipeline.
EU leaders have expressed their support to the International Criminal Court after the US announced it would sanction top officials.
A new study shows that the temperature of the Mediterranean Sea has risen by 2 degrees, leaving a severe impact on our ecosystem. US President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that he will be meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un later this year. Trump also gave an unusually specific assessment of North Korea's nuclear weapons capabilities, saying they possess 57 nuclear weapons.
I get along with him, and you know what? The fact that I get along with him, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. He has 57 very powerful nuclear weapons. Should have never allowed it to happen. They should have never allowed it. If I were president, I wouldn't have allowed it. But he's got them.
Trump gave no further details on the planned meeting with Kim, which would be their first since Trump's first term in the White House. The announcement comes days after Trump scaled back joint US-South Korea military drills, which he said sent an inappropriate and hostile signal to Pyongyang. He also described North Korea as unthreatening and respectful during his presidency, though it has conducted a series of missile tests during that time.
A Ukrainian national was arrested on Wednesday in Croatia on suspicion of involvement in the September 2022 explosions on the Nord Stream gas pipeline. According to German prosecutors, the person arrested is a trained scuba diver who was part of a group of individuals who planted explosives on the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. He was strongly suspected of jointly causing explosions, anti-constitutional sabotage and destruction of buildings and structures, they added. The undersea gas pipeline was linking Russia to Germany to carry Russian natural gas under the Baltic Sea. The incident had heightened tensions over the war in Ukraine at a time when Europe was seeking to end its dependence on Russian fossil fuels. According to prosecutors, the aim of these explosions was to prevent Moscow from profiting from its energy revenues. Russia had accused the United States of being behind these explosions, an accusation denied by Washington.
A Russian drone attack on a bus in Kherson in southern Ukraine killed 4 people and injured several others on Wednesday. In a post on X, President Volodymyr Zelensky slammed the attack as part of a, quote, safari hunt against Ukrainian civilians.
Решение, что раненых ждать скорой помощи мы не будем, и сразу уехали на областную больницу.
Local media reported that Russia launched 2 ballistic missiles and 65 drones at Ukraine overnight into Wednesday. In Zaporizhzhia, 2 people were killed and at least 10 injured by Russian drone strikes. That's according to local authorities. A fire broke out on a 2nd floor of a hostel. A furniture store was set ablaze, and the roof of a nearby apartment building was damaged.
EU leaders have expressed their support to the International Criminal Court after the United States announced it would sanction top officials investigating Israel's actions in Gaza. In a statement, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and Council Chief Antonio Costa said that the ICC helps deliver justice to the victims of some of the world's most horrific crimes. They added that in order to carry out this essential work, its judges and officials must be able to act independently and without external pressure. The statement came after US Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the US would sanction the ICC's president, Japan's Tomoko Akane, and senior lawyer Abdoulaye Seye of Senegal. The top officials have been tasked with probing war crimes allegedly committed by Israel in its war in Gaza. The ICC has described these sanctions as a flagrant attack on its independence.
The Party of European Socialists is heading towards an internal showdown. Divisions among national delegations over migration policy is deepening in the wake of the Ceuta crisis, in which over 72,000 people illegally crossed into the Spanish enclave from Morocco at the end of July. During the crisis, Denmark's centre-left Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen joined Italy, Germany, Finland and Sweden in criticizing Pedro Sanchez's government over its handling of the situation. Frederiksen co-led with Italy's far-right leader Giorgia Meloni a letter signed by 22 member states that criticized Spain's recent regularization of around 500,000 migrants. In a letter sent to the Party of European Socialists president earlier this week, two heavyweight MEPs from Italy and Spain accused Frederiksen of selective solidarity. They argued that Frederiksen adopted the narrative of the radical right. The Italian and Spanish delegations point out that Denmark enjoyed European solidarity during open threats from US President Donald Trump to seize the autonomous territory of Greenland. Denmark's Social Democrats' membership of the European Socialist Party is not in question. The aim is rather to find common ground on this sensitive topic.
The Latvian president has come to one of Europe's most sensitive borders as the Baltic country faces growing security threats from its eastern neighbors, from irregular migration to the risk of war.
I'm standing here in Latvia with Belarus being just on my side. The fence behind me was built 2 years ago to cope with irregular migration.
The Belarusian regime is being blamed for the high number of migrants attempting to enter Latvia, and the timing is no coincidence.
Partly this is because Latvia had 5 elections in October. That's number one. And of course, then it's very important somehow to show that we are not able to cope with the pressure.
Latvia finished its fence along the 173-kilometer border with Belarus this year. But all the work to strengthen the border protection should be completed by the end of the year. Latvia is adding surveillance systems, cameras, drones, and towers. In the meantime, migrants are finding increasingly difficult ways to get through, either climbing the fence or even digging under. On some days of the summer, Latvia has recorded more than 100 attempted illegal crossings.
Also testing of our capabilities, testing of our resolve, and trying to find weak spots.
And the challenge goes well beyond people trying to cross the border. The Baltic country just days ago had a drone shot down in its territory, experiences hybrid attacks, and is preparing even for a threat of war.
These blocks, all these fortification materials would help us to enable this terrain.
Latvia is strengthening its border defenses by prepositioning fortification materials, planning minefields and other obstacles, and integrating drone and deep strike capabilities into a defense line.
Are you expecting more hybrid threats from Russia and Belarus?
I think we are much better prepared, but we never can rule out anything.
The United Arab Emirates has severed economic ties with Iran by halting all trade, commercial exchange and financial transactions until further notice. The decision follows after Iran fired 2 ballistic missiles towards the country on Tuesday, which Abu Dhabi says were directed at shipping. Both of the missiles fell into the sea, one of them inside Emirati territorial waters. Tehran denied targeting the UAE, which has been a major trading partner for Iran. Abu Dhabi has previously slammed the targeting of commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz as a violation on the freedom of navigation and said Iran used the strait as a tool of economic coercion and blackmail. Iran has executed over 900 people since the beginning of 2026, according to a report by human rights group the Abdurrahman Buraman Center. The Washington-based group documented 901 executions between January and July and 28 executions in August alone. The rights group noticed a sharp increase in the use of capital punishment across cases involving national security, drug-related offenses, and members of ethnic minorities. At least 56 people were executed during the 7-month period on political or national security charges. 13 were accused of espionage and 14 were sentenced on other security-related charges. Drug-related offenses accounted for at least 268 executions. The figures also show a disproportionate impact on ethnic minorities and other vulnerable groups. The report documented the execution of 16 women and 2 people under the age of 18 at the time of their alleged offences. The latest figures add to growing international concern over the scale of executions in Iran.
European surface temperatures are rising due to climate change, and the Mediterranean Sea has seen a rise of around 2 degrees, according to a new scientific study. The study by the World Weather Attribution Group shows that some of these areas are heating up faster than the global average. Researchers found that the change in temperature is severely impacting our ecosystems.
Our marine life is moving from warmer waters up into the Mediterranean, and then from warmer, more southerly waters, such as down near Spain, is now pushing more north towards Ireland, and then the fish, say, around Ireland are being pushed even further north again towards the North Sea. So this is concerning on a number of levels, not just for marine life, but also for its impacts on human communities.
Experts say that this is particularly being driven by the continued burning of fossil fuels. Meanwhile, Western European seas have seen an increase of over 1.3 to 1.4 degrees Celsius. According to the European Union's Global Warming Monitor, the world's oceans hit record high temperatures for a second straight month in July.